Hi Eddie.
Hi, Keith.
Hi Eddie. You said yesterday that you need to do everything right tonight and then get some luck as well. How do you think you fared with that?
Well, we didn't do everything right. That's clear. But we certainly didn't have the luck either. And I felt the turning point of the game's an obvious one. I can't understand how Mike's not stopped the game. Isaac clearly holds his head immediately, laying in our 6-yard box with another player. And of course, that leads to the goal. At the time, it was clear for me the game had to be stopped. I couldn't believe it wasn't. And for me, that's a key moment in the match.
Do you think when it's a head
Recording
knock,
in progress.
when it's a head knock like that, there should even be a decision to make? It should just be the game is stopped, and I think that has been the case for a while.
Well, I couldn't believe what I was seeing because Isaac, I could see myself. It was holding his head immediately. It wasn't as if it changed. And the priority always has to be the safety of the player. Talk a lot at the moment about head injuries, and I felt that was a wrong decision. I feel we've been really harshly treated today. Follows a similar pattern, really, of other games that we've had where just the rub of the green or the decisions have gone against us for whatever reason. But tonight, I think when you play at Anfield and you've got the lead, suddenly the crowd are in the game and Liverpool are on or up, and that made it very difficult from that moment onwards.
Did you also feel, sorry to talk about the decisions, but did you also feel you should have had a penalty when Ryan Fraser went down under the challenge from Trent?
Yeah, difficult. I've only seen it live. I assume that's what VAR is there for, and yeah, it's a difficult one to maybe complain too much about that one, but certainly other people's opinions have been that it was a penalty. I don't know. My feeling is the first goal and the decision for that had the key bearing on the result today, and that's the one that really agrees me tonight.
And I know you'll obviously be disappointed with the end result, not getting anything from it. Do you feel that there's a bit of sort of progression from the weekend? Can you take some positives out of that display?
Yeah, very much so. I think and the players really gave everything to the game physically. I think you could see that Liverpool moved the ball very quickly. We had to work very hard to contain them. But I felt the players delivered that very well. We scored a great goal on the counter-attack. Maxi was a threat in isolated moments in the game when we managed to feed him with the ball. Probably disappointed with the second half on the ball. I felt we could have shown a bit more composure to open them up in those moments where we were in transitions. But in terms of what the players gave the game and their attitude and commitment to it, I thought we were good. I thought we had a better mentality about us today than we did against Leicester, and we were right in the match, right to the end. Obviously, until the third goal, we were right in the game, and I felt at any moment that we could get something today.
Thank you. Cheers, Eddie.
Thank you.
Scott Wilson, Northern Echo.
Hi, Eddie. Eddie, do you feel that that's one where if the boot's on the other foot and that's a Liverpool player down in his own 6-yard box, the same decision is given?
I think you're going to take me into dangerous territory with that question. So I better not answer it, I think, is my...
Miles Stafford.
Hi, Eddie. You left Callum Wilson out the starting 11. Could you just explain that decision? Obviously, I know you've got to manage the players through this period.
Yeah, very much with that in mind. We felt today was the moment where we could give Callum a rest and protect him. And obviously, I know the player very well. I know his history. I know how important he is for the team and for the club. And it was the case of just trying to manage his minutes. There's no guarantee, even if you do manage minutes, that you'll keep everybody fit. But I think we've got to be intelligent and make the right call on the players' behalf and obviously the team's behalf. So today was that moment for Callum.
Dominic King.
Eddie, just to check something that you said on to BT. You said that Isaac was dazed for 3 or 4 minutes after it. Was it 3 or 4 minutes after the game or 3 or 4 minutes after the incident? And did you think of taking him off?
Well, I think you could see from the fact that he had treatment to the side of the pitch that was where I obviously made that comment from. You could see he was taken off, he was treated, then taken off to the side, and he still didn't look 100% himself. I've not spoken to Isaac after the game to see if there's any lasting damage from the challenge, but he didn't look in a good place. And for me, he immediately held his head, and I think that was the key thing. There was no acting from the player. He was down. He couldn't continue. We paid the price for it.
Chris Conway, ITV Tyne Tees.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
I want to follow up on your point about VAR. Do you feel that it is used effectively within the Premier League? Because it seems as if there's real inconsistencies on a game-to-game basis with how it's deployed.
Well, certainly when you look at the Leicester game, I didn't feel it was implemented correctly for us at that moment, because I think, as I said after Sunday's game, I felt the referee should have gone to review his own decision. And I think if he does, I think he changes that decision. But I think there's maybe an overemphasis on not reversing decisions to protect the referees, which I don't think is the right thing. I think all we want is to get the decision right. So I think that's where we are with VAR at the moment. Today, I don't know about Ryan's penalty. I don't know. I've only seen it live. I don't know. Was VAR did it look at it? I assume it did. But again, I think at the moment, the trend seems to be that they don't want to go against what the original decision is.
A question from Mark.
Yeah, hi Eddie. Can I just ask about Alan Saint-Maximin? He obviously went off holding his knee. It looked like. Is there any idea of kind of the state of that injury?
I don't know at this moment in time now. So with Maxi, I think he took a really nasty tackle. I don't know whether his injury is related to that tackle or it's more muscular. I've got no idea. I did try and speak to him as he came off, but didn't manage to get clear communication on what that was. So fingers crossed for him. He's such a big player for us. We don't want to lose him for any amount of time.
And we'll take 4 more in this section. Chris Roth, The Athletic.
Hi Eddie, on the same sort of theme about injuries, Jamal Lewis obviously went off in the first half. It looked muscular. Can you explain what that was and how bad that looks as well, please?
It looks bad. It looks like a hamstring problem. I'm surprised with Jamal because he's obviously so athletic and he's been excellent in terms of his athletic work for us so far. So early in the game, I'm surprised, and obviously that was damaging to us to lose a sub so early in the match. Thought Matt Ritchie came on and was fantastic in his place, but certainly it's not the time of year for us to lose players. And fingers crossed, it's only Jamal that will probably go into the Christmas period now in any doubt. But obviously we need to check a few others that were carrying things today.
Jordan Cronin, Newcastle World.
Hi, Eddie. Just on as a central striker. What did you make his performance, and is that something you could look to do in the future, play him as a central striker?
Is that Maxi, did you say?
Yeah, Maxi, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Maxi I thought was very good. I think he's obviously very different to Callum. He's the type of player that when he plays in that position, you need to feed him to feet, really. Obviously, that then brings in his dribbling. And I thought the times where we did get it into his feet, I thought he looked a real threat and he worried them. But they were isolated. And I think the challenge for us was to get him the ball more. I thought he played very well. As I say, it's slightly different to Callum, but I still think it enhanced the team's performance.
Alistair McGowan, BBC Sport.
Hi, Eddie. I was just wondering whether you thought the decision today on the first goal there for Liverpool was maybe influenced by what happened with David De Gea a few weeks ago, where there was a goal given while he was lying on the goal line.
Well, it shouldn't be. It should be made in isolation of what's happening at that moment. And as I say, immediately when I saw the incident, there was 2 of our players lying on the floor and one was holding his head, clearly. So for me, that game should have been stopped immediately because the focus should have been on Isaac's welfare. But not only that, we then have 2 players out of the game that would be defending that cross. And I think that's very unjust.
And Lee Ryder from the Chronicle.
Hi, Eddie. Thomas Frank, before the game, believes the next round of fixtures should be called off. I just wonder what your take on that was. Would you rather play on and get these games done where you can?
I think the key thing for me, I don't think we want, just my opinion, I don't think we want half the games played and half the games not played. I think I think the league really loses something if it becomes disjointed in terms of the number of games played. So I think a decision needs to be made for the benefit of the league and to make sure that there's integrity through the competition. That would be my view on it. I think they either all go ahead. I don't think we can have half the games played and half the games not played.
I will now take questions on Sunday's match against Manchester City. This section will be embargoed until 10 a.m. tomorrow. That's Friday, in line with our usual pre-match press conference embargo. And we'll start with Matthew Ray's